Welcome back to the Battery Podcast. I'm Aiden,
I'm Jack.
And I'm Casey.
and we are coming to you on this, I guess, quasi bye week, All Star week, with a little bit more bonus coverage of the Cannons from their beat writer, Noel D'Amico. First year covering the team, so very excited to talk to her about her background with the sport, how she got into covering that and with the team, and just get that new perspective because I think she has a lot more regular access to the players and coaches than we do. Not that we have them on pretty regularly, but I think just as part of her job, that weekly conversation with Coach Ullman or whatever it is, just really cool to hear that perspective. So, yeah, Jack Casey, how are you doing before we kick that off?
Doing well, happy it's the fourth. It's friggin' hot.
Yep.
But I'll take that over a rainy 4th of July weekend any year. So give me the heat. It's summer, baby. Let's go have ourselves a fourth.
Yeah, we did have a rainy one a couple years ago, and I do remember feeling a little bit disappointed, like inside, like making like hot dogs on the stove. That's just
No,
not.
it's not
No.
what the holiday's about.
Yeah. No, it is not. It's about fireworks and outdoor grills and the pool and maybe someone loses a finger. Um,
Absolutely. Freedom.
yep.
Oh,
Let it rain,
freedom.
baby.
Yeah, I'm very much enjoying the start of the 3-day weekend. Nice to have a 3-day weekend for a change. Um, it's only it's only like 72 or 73 here right now, but it is supposed to get up to be in the 80s today. So I'm looking forward to beautiful weather all weekend, be by the pool for sure.
Mhm.
Maybe go check out some fireworks and a baseball game.
Yeah. That
Nice.
yeah, that's right. Baseball, that was the one thing we forgot. Since the Denver Outlaws 4th of July game doesn't happen anymore, hopefully that'll come back some point. But the
Oh,
baseball game, that
yeah.
feels like what you got to do on 4th of July. I know the Red Sox will definitely be on my TV tomorrow, or I guess today as you're
Mhm.
listening to this as well.
Yeah. But
Yeah.
should we send it over to Noel then?
Yeah. All right. Here's our conversation with Noel D'Amico. And welcome to Noel D'Amico, Cannon's beat writer, for joining us on this All-Star weekend. Noel, how are you doing?
I'm good. Thank you guys so much for having me. I'm
Yeah,
excited.
absolutely. Yeah, we're excited to get on another person with a different level of insight to the team than we have. So thanks for spending the time with us here. I guess let's just first get started with how you got the job as a Cannons beat writer and what your background in lacrosse is.
Yeah, so I went to school at the University of Tampa, and in 2024, that was my senior year. I got to cover the Tampa men's lacrosse team, and so I was their beat writer for the season. I did writing and like a little sideline reporting for them, and that's really when I just like fell in love with the sport of lacrosse. I my brother played growing up, but I never have. I've actually not ever played like traditional sports. I've just done dance my whole life, so this was my first taste of like going out to practice with them like daily and seeing what it was all about. And so I really just fell in love with it. And then, yeah, since then I've covered a little bit of football on the high school level and things like that. And then the PLL job, came up on an email for me, and I applied and interviewed, and here we are. And so, yeah, it's been a dream come true, honestly.
That's awesome. And just for anyone who didn't listen, Tampa or doesn't know, Tampa is a pretty good powerhouse in the D2 level, if
Yes.
I'm not mistaken.
Yes. They just won another national championship this year. So super
That's
excited for
right.
them. And
They beat
yeah.
Kyle Lewis and Adelphi.
Yes. Yes, they did. Got some revenge back. So I was pumped
Yeah,
for
because
them.
it was the same matchup the year before, right? But Adelphi won, and I
Yeah.
believe Kyle
Yeah, I
Lewis
think and
in the
Kyle
goal.
Lewis got that overtime goal. So I was like, and
Oh
when the Cannons
wow.
were playing him, I was like, can you guys, get that win for us?
Yeah, it seemed like that might have given him a little bit of fire to start his pro
For sure.
career.
For
Um,
sure.
but cool. I mean, that's got to be such a like. I would imagine at the D2 level, there's just a little bit more like not lack of intensity, but just a little bit more like interaction that you're able to have with the players than at a huge school at the D1 level. What was that like? Like, or I guess what did it look like being the a beat reporter, for lack of a better word, for a college
Yeah.
team?
Yeah. It was actually I like invented the role in a sense. It was like my, independent senior project I did with a journalism professor. So no one had this before me. I went to the coach's office and I was like, "Hey, I have an idea. Like, are you interested? Would that be okay?" And he was so friendly and nice. And I really just got blessed with such a good team of guys who were willing to, say anything to me. And I think in a way it helps because they never like dealt with a reporter for them the whole time. And so I got a lot of like freedom to be at practices and meetings and creatively kind of like write different stories. So it was nice to like, there was less media, but I got to be that media and like, we utilized it with their social media platforms. And I think grew the sport even within our school and just kind of like the buzz around it, which it was exciting to be like a small part of that for sure.
Yeah, that's really cool. And especially to like create that position, like make it like your own vision or like anything you want, just like go out there and try to get
Yeah.
it. That's
It
really
was it was like an awesome first experience.
yeah. And has that continued? Because you said it's 2024. So in last year and this year or the year before, has there been someone covering the team that way as well?
Uh, I don't think they have, not in the way that I did. I've like kept in touch with them and we'll sometimes like hop on a call and do like little things like this with some of the guys that I knew from the time, but they have a really good like social media team who pumps out their video and stuff. So I think they've carried over a little bit of like the narration and talking that they maybe, learned from my time, but I don't think there's anyone
Hmm.
covering them the same way.
Yeah. I guess natural final question about Tampa. Any pro level prospects you think that would
Oh my gosh.
make it? I think
uh,
Andrew Q from the NLL, I believe he went to Tampa.
who is it?
Andrew Q, who's Canadian, plays in the NLL. He was
It
with the
might have
Cannons
been,
for
but
like half the season.
yeah, it was probably before like I didn't personally
Yeah,
know him.
it would have been.
I think Gordy Gombold over on the defensive end, long
That's an
pole for
amazing
Tampa.
name.
Yeah, right. I feel like you have to have a cool name to play lacrosse. I feel like that's like a requirement. So many of them have such fun names. He's going to be a senior. He's a powerhouse. And then Rex Kesselring's another attackman who I think is could do it. They always joke too, like since Tufts won the national championship, they're like, let's take on Tufts. And then there you got Jack Ruggieri, and it's like, okay, we definitely could
Yeah,
see someone D2 from Tampa
yeah.
playing. So I'd love that. That'd be
Yeah.
awesome.
It is, I mean, it's an odd number, so it would be hard to do, but I would love like the D1, 2, and 3 national champions all playing each other in like even an exhibition of some kind. Like that would be so much fun.
I think so too.
Some sort of round robin thing.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. That NCAA is never gonna let that happen, but
No.
We
it'd be
can
great.
dream.
Yeah. All right. So you got like a job, like email list is where saw the job from the
Yeah.
Cannons. So what is I guess when did you start in that role and how's it been going for you so far?
Yeah, I started, it was in April. Like, I want to say I got the job like 4 days before the draft because that was
Oh
the
wow.
first thing that
Oof.
I covered. Yeah. So when I like, and with the rookies too, I'm like, we're in the same boat. Like, I, got drafted the same time that you did. So, that was my intro to the league. And it's a chaotic time, of course, because I came on right before their season started with everything. So it's been a lot, but a lot of fun also to try to like navigate the way the league is and the way that their schedule and their practice and starting to get to know everyone. I still haven't spoken to everyone on the team naturally. It just hasn't come up yet, but I feel like I'm getting there. And I've loved it so far.
Awesome. Who's been like the most entertaining player to talk to of the people
Ooh,
or coach?
yeah. Oh, my coach is so fun always. It's funny because every time I talk to someone, like I'm like, oh, he was the nicest one. And then I talk to someone else and I'm like, oh my gosh, he was so nice too. Like everyone on the team, like the culture is ridiculous. Like it is truly, I feel
Mhm.
like the nicest group of guys ever. Um, Maybe like Matt Campbell, just because I feel like he's kind of quiet and reserved, like you'd think from the outside. But
Mhm.
when I had a conversation with him, like it was just like so nice to kind of get to know his personality and he was very chatty. So yeah,
Mhm.
Good.
Matt Campbell was awesome.
Did he bring up the band he was in college? I know that's
I
a
no, I actually didn't because so many people have written about that before. So I was like, I need to go on a new angle. We were talking about his engagement actually because he just
oh
got
yeah.
engaged
That's
like a month
that's
ago.
right.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so we are
Yeah.
talking about that.
That's exciting. Yeah, him and Colin Kirst.
Yep.
Art. Well, clock's ticking for the rest of the roster there, I'm sure. Yeah.
They're all like at that life stage age, so it's super
Yeah,
fun.
pretty much. Except for I guess Marcus is like the only I think Marcus might be the only one who's over 30.
Yeah, yeah. And the only one that's married and like with a
Right.
kid, we were
And
talking
has a
about that
kid.
with him.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
so
fun. He was saying he like was giving kind of like proposal advice to Matt Campbell and Colin Kirsch back at their training camp dinner one night. So he was like, that was really
uh-huh.
fun.
That's awesome.
that's a story I would love to read.
Right?
Yeah.
I know. We'll have to do something like that. I think that would be fun.
Yeah. Well, hopefully there's a third or fourth one that happens by the end of the season and it's like tie it all together.
Yeah, we'll keep an eye out.
Yeah. I mean, so I know you said you don't necessarily have a lot more info to share, but it has been probably the biggest story, at least out of the cannons so far. The release or the benching and then release or whatever it officially was of Asher Nolting after just one game. Is there any kind of any insight you have of how that whole process went down or anything from the coach's perspective, Asher's perspective, just you know, I feel like the fans and certainly us, the three of us, want to know just anything we can about that whole thing because it was really surprising to go from basically MVP finalist to, you know, cut in a year and a half.
Yeah, yeah, I feel like a little bit in the same boat. I'd love to know too. I know a lot of just what coaches shared in the press conferences and publicly. I think I was a little less maybe like surprised when it happened just because I kind of felt it coming because he hadn't been playing and maybe just like in some conversations, but nothing to the extent of like a why, similar to, what he's been saying, just like they have dealt him and Asher have dealt with it, and they've whatever he's kind of left it very much at that. And so I guess it leaves a lot of room for interpretation, and I don't want to go and theorize, on what might have
Yeah.
gone down there. But yeah, from my perspective, just I was in Rhode Island that weekend, and so saw him play the first game, and then not on the active roster on game two. And so for me, it was like that was like the first two games I ever covered also. So I'm like, is this normal? What is this about? Like, I don't really know. And so then just kind of keeping my eye on it. But yeah, that's kind of what I've heard.
Yeah, it feels like it's the type of thing where I don't know, I felt like if this happened in the NFL, like the player would have gone, especially, I guess maybe Asher, you could analogize to like a wide receiver in the NFL who tend to be the most diva-ish of professions. Like we would have gotten like a Twitter crash out or something, and that
Right.
whether it was accurate or not,
Mhm.
we would have certainly gotten more words about it. But
Right.
I feel like the players in the PLL do a pretty good job of being like disciplined and not kind of speaking out of turn. So um, yeah, I don't know. Maybe we might need to get a few drinks into Coach Holman or Coach
Yeah.
Holman, pick someone
Or
and
Asher.
yeah,
Yeah.
or
Yeah.
Asher for sure. It'd be nice to kind of compare and contrast because right, it's like there's two stories and the truth is somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, I know. And I think that's what unique is like I never have spoken to Asher himself. I think if I had this job a year ago, I would have gotten to know him. And then when this happened, would have maybe gotten his POV. But like, my intro to meeting him wasn't going to be like, hey, so you got released. What's going on? Like that,
Yeah.
wouldn't have been a great conversation starter to meeting him. So the opportunity really never came up for us to interact. So I think that, is probably a piece of it as well.
Yeah, that's a very good point. It'd be a really tough introduction to have.
Yeah.
Yeah. Um, all right.
Talking about the team, I guess, just as a whole, then this is so that the Asher storyline is probably the biggest one of just like we said that how far he fell to now be cut, and we can get into the positives a little bit later because the Cannons are heading into this All-Star break off of a win, but it was definitely a slog to get to this point. It's been a lot of disappointment so far this season. So, what in your eyes has been the biggest struggle for the team, and why that they just struggled to really get anything going for so long?
Yeah, it I feel like it really comes down to just the turnover and the age of the team. Like they really went from being so veteran heavy to so rookie heavy, truthfully. And even like we say rookies, but it's also like Coulter McAsee's on year two. Brian Kelly's basically on year one. Like so many of these guys, like it is very young. And I think they just have had like a slower start in even their training camp was different and they didn't play week one. And so it's been that natural adjustment of learning how to play together that's been even a little bit slower for them. And I don't think, when they talk about that, they're like, it's not an excuse. And it's not. But I just think from a visual perspective, it's like the mistakes are just like little things and they have so much talent. And so it's like, how do you take the individual talent and produce on the field? I think we started to see that this past week in San Diego, but it's like just learning to play cohesively as a unit, I think is, in my opinion, what's been the biggest struggle.
Yeah, I think that is a very good point, and it does remind me last year. of seeing California and Carolina in particular, where I personally and a lot of people in the lacrosse world did not expect, especially from Carolina, really anything because their roster was so young and so much, new coaches knew basically everyone and they really surprised a lot of people. So, let's hope we, knock on wood, we see that from the Cannons in the second half as the players themselves get that kind of chemistry. Um, yeah, that is. I think that Coulter Maxey really only played like half of last year anyway, um, and even not all of that was at his natural attack spot. So
Right.
yeah, um, yeah, we'll hope that Brian Kelly in year 1.5 and Coulter in year 1.5 and McKelly in year 1.5.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, so coming off of that win, then it is that sort of the thing that you think could be a spark for the rest of the season? Do you think that they found something in this win in California where maybe the guys are starting to feel more comfortable, they're starting to click more, and that, some of that youth is turning into a little bit of experience and it could gel into a more cohesive unit that can produce some wins down the stretch, or what is your outlook on the second half?
I think, yeah, I'm hopeful for it. I think I wouldn't be surprised if they can string together a few wins. I think I was even talking to Owen Grant recently, and he was saying that he was like, I felt like last year I was one of the youngest guys. Like it felt like his true first real season. And he was like, now all of a sudden I have guys looking at me. And he's like that, like finding that footing of like, he's not a veteran. He's not necessarily like the captains of the team, but he's also not the youngest player anymore.
Hmm.
And on a defense where it's like, I think he said he's like the third oldest now, but that just jumped for him. And he is starting, I think, to settle into that role a little bit more as well. So it's not even just the new guys, but like the ones in the middle that were the youngest now moving into having like falling into leadership in a way, not as a captain, but still just being someone that guys can look to. So I think they're getting there. I think that it is something to be hopeful for. And it was Jack Kilty was saying like the younger guys just energize him. Like they really
Mhm.
don't see having the rookie heavy team as a downside at all. Like it excites them, and I don't really think it is a downside. I think it's like more I'd call it a learning curve. And so because of that, I would be hopeful that like second half of the season we start to see the effects of getting there. And Coach Holman said something in a press conference too about just like being excited to develop the rookies, and that gave me a good perspective too because I was like yeah, and I want to like capture that development from my point of view that even when things are like not always at a high, it's like the story's still being written and like we'll look back in a few years and be like, oh my gosh, remember when, Jack Rugnieri did that awesome play in his like first ever game and now he's, onto this. So yeah, I'm hopeful.
Yeah, I
Love
think
to hear that.
yeah, that is a really really nice positive perspective to hear. Again, it's a lot easier to feel this way after that like win in California, but
For sure.
I think even if the Cannons had lost that, like the season's not necessarily over, and um, yeah, there's a long way to go, and I think for those new, yeah, like Jack Ruggieri has played what 2 games so far, McMeekin has played 3, so there's a lot of perspective, and what you said about Owen Grant was it was a good reminder too that I think his PLL career had been 3 games with the Redwoods like 2 years prior, um,
Yeah.
last season with the Cannons, and I think he played great, but it also is still like the box game and field game are definitely very different, and so his last basically his last collegiate experience, the college game was also pretty different from the PLL. So he's had some ups and downs this year. Obviously his game in California against Illinois was fantastic. So we'll hope that that third overall pick turns out to prove its worth, I guess. Coach Holman said he's committed to being a Cannon for a long time.
Yeah, yeah. I just wrote a story on Owen actually today. Came out today, so you can we dove into all of that and the difference of like he did say that the NLL is very different, switching from like short stick, long stick, getting reacclimated, and like
Hmm.
he was one who brought up too. Just his like career in California was not it. What he was I think out most of his rookie season with just injury or like visa stuff, and then shoulder injury the second season, and then he was like ready to come back and then traded. So it was like a very like not conventional start for him. So it's like you forget that like it's year 4, but it's like not at the same time.
Yeah, I'm excited to read that as soon as we're done. Thanks for
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
tip. Um, yeah. Um,
What about the rookies though? You talked a lot about it. What has been your impression of the rookies? Weishar, Rigneri, McMeekin, all three have come in and contributed really. And even, you also talked about it's not just the rookies. Brian Kelly and Coulter Mackesy technically aren't rookies, but they are second year guys who are really making their impact felt this year. How have you seen them sort of grow this season and fit into the team?
Yeah, I've been definitely impressed with them, honestly, because like we've been saying, it's not like you just take one rookie and plug him into, an offense that's got all the pieces and he just has to figure it out. It's like we're like building something brand new for everyone. It's like the reverse, like
Mhm.
no one has been there. So I think that's hard to come in as a rookie and not have, you're not the only like new moving piece. Like everyone is a new moving piece. And so I think they've done a really great job stepping into big shoes to fill right away. Like they're expected, I think, a lot of on week one, and especially with this weird, the college overlap schedule. They're like coming in at all different times. Like Jack Ranieri was like, I wasn't even thinking about PLL till after the national championship. Because how could you be, right? Like he has to,
Right.
go do that. So like, and then he's coming off, he's like, still banged up from the season. It's a lot. I think I've definitely been impressed, even like McMeekin as well. Like just I think that look at face off has been great for them overall. I think that him going to, playing with Coulter in college is just like such a small detail that I think has really impacted a lot. There's been a few good plays coming off of face off right to Coulter. Um, and their attitude, like when I talk to some of the veterans, they're just like they fit right into the Cannons culture. Like that is just they're confident in their ability, but they're humble and they're hungry and they are so willing to learn. Like they all really look up to Marcus and just like feeding off of that. So I think it's a really great crew of rookies.
That's awesome. Yeah, I mean, I think from what we've heard from Coach Holman as well, like the cultural fit is more important necessarily than the lacrosse abilities for him. So it feels like, you know, certainly have spent more time talking with and about the Cannons than any other team, but it feels like they've got to have like one of the best locker rooms in the game, just with how important that is to Coach Holman.
Yeah.
Yeah, that Marcus told me, oh my gosh, it's like my favorite quote. He was like, the guys on this team, because we were talking about some of the engagements. This is the context. And he's like, the guys on this team are like guys you'd want your daughter to date. Like, that's how he would describe them. And I was like, that just speaks such volume to the character of people that you'd bring in there that, like, that's the first thought that would pop to your head about it. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that's isn't that was like a viral thing on social media a while ago, like which
Oh,
teammate
yeah.
date your daughter, and
That's
I don't
funny.
remember. I feel like the PLL did it, but I don't know. Hopefully, the Cannons would say like no one or all of them,
Right.
however the questions framed.
Right. Oh,
That
that's
would be very
funny.
funny if you got that just like across the board.
Wait, yeah, that's maybe we'll have to bring that trend back. Tell the social media team to do that.
Do you have like we talked about hopefully things improving for the Cannons, obviously. Do you have a prediction for the second half of the year that would surprise us or surprise the listeners?
Hmm. I mean, I don't know. Not maybe not surprised, but I would not be surprised if they could piece together some wins and maybe have a little streak going. It wouldn't surprise me. Um, just because I think they've had the pieces there, and even in the losses, it hasn't been so far gone, that it's like they're out of the picture. So I don't, as much as it can feel like, they're out of the picture for something, I don't think they are. It wouldn't surprise me to see them, flip the season and 180 on it. So that's me being like hopeful as well. But yeah, I wouldn't be surprised to see some wins.
Awesome. Yeah. That's it's good to hear as someone who follows the team, as close or closely as we do as well. Probably the top four Cannons viewers on the Zoom call right now. Um,
Daisy, you got anything?
Um, yeah, I mean, I know I've been a little quiet, but I do always have something to say. Um, I mean, what's something that maybe the typical fan would not recognize or like be able to see when watching the team play that you feel is like maybe a little underrated, but really important to the team's identity?
That's a good question. I think what stands out to me is the culture. Like every single conversation I have with anyone, even if we're like just doing a feature, like hearing the way they talk about each other and about the locker room is like sticks out to me so much. And that it is just so positive and so unique because I think in the league as well, like it's not college where you're with these guys 24/7. And that's something that they
Hmm.
also talk about is like it's hard to bond, but they're such a close knit group and position specific, like, oh, we're only going to hang out, this is kind of like our friend group, if you will. Like that's really not the vibe of this team at all. And so I think just even though there's such that, wide range of age, which I'll talk about with the rookies, how Marcus is like what, 35 or something, and they're like a decade younger. Like it is crazy, but they're like, it doesn't feel like that. Like, he's one of the boys, and I think that that's really special to have on a team where you're spending your whole, every weekend of your summer with these guys, and they all feel so lucky that it's a good group of guys, because they're like, I could not imagine if you had people that made it difficult to be away from home and friends for
Mhm.
that many weekends. So I think just like knowing that they're people too, because of course the media is going to pick up a bad play and it like feels like that defines them, and they really don't listen or feed off of that at all. Like they're just focused on, they love lacrosse, they love the game, and they love getting to play it with each other. So I think just, yeah, like the human side of it is just so
Mm.
awesome to understand about them.
Yeah, I love that. I love when we're able to get a player on and help anyone that does watch or listen to our podcast get to see a little bit more behind the curtain of who these players are. Because, in other sports and leagues that have been around for far longer, you get to see more of that. But this league, you don't really that much yet. But that's definitely like one of my favorite parts about like what we do, not just covering the game, right? But getting to know the player behind, um, behind the play or without the helmet on. I think it makes a really big difference with getting to understand the culture. And I mean, there's a reason why the three of us love the Cannons. And I think that the culture and that coach really like sets and brings, like that's a big part of it. So yeah, I love that.
Yeah, no, I would echo that as well. Like I think what I love about my job is getting to get that like human interest and like go behind the curtain a little bit and connect fans to the game in a way that's beyond just the game, because I think it is so much bigger. There's so many stories to tell, and so I think it's
Mhm.
really special to be able to share those. Like not something I take lightly, because if you're gonna share something with me, I want to capture each person in the best way to get their story across. And I think that it's a great way to grow the game as well. Like when you've talked about other leagues too, it's like, why are they so successful? When you know the people, I think it just naturally makes you that much more invested in the game. And so I think I'd love to, keep digging down that path and being able to contribute in some way.
Yeah, I think that is what's made sports so successful is you have people who obviously are fan of their teams, but people who are fan of athletes, like people who are fan of LeBron and
Mhm.
fans of Tom Brady, etc. And I think that was something that the PLL did really well when it started in comparison to the MLL of like the players were so available, like social media. I mean, the autograph alley thing has been true for a long time, but just like you felt like you got to know, like I just knew more names and faces of players in the PLL versus MLL because they were just so much more present. And I
Mhm.
think that, obviously with how like Joey Spallina has been like the most marketed person since, I don't know, maybe at least in the lacrosse world, maybe ever. Um,
Yeah.
it just feels like that it helps so much with getting kids to, to want to buy jerseys and go to games to see their players versus like the idea of the Boston Cannons or the Maryland Whipsnakes. But you like, I don't know, I think like Rob Pennell is on the team somehow. It's just like it makes it so much easier to relate and um, be a fan. Um,
Yeah, I agree.
yeah. Um, let's see. Do we?
I got one here. Noel just came to me is we haven't seen Jeff Trainer play the last couple of weeks, and I for one certainly have been
Governor.
surprised by that. Yes, the governor, as we like to call him. Yeah, I don't know. It seems like such a mainstay. He's a real good defensive midi and a guy that can play offense as well, and especially with Marquez White going down with the injury at practice last weekend, and it was Logan Ip and Trainer were on the protected roster, and Holman went with Ip to replace White instead of Trainer, even though Trainer is a D mid, whereas
Right.
Ip is an O mid. Like that, just there that move seemed odd to me, and the fact that Trainer hasn't played the last two games also was definitely just generally a surprise to me. Is there something going on there that should we expect to see him back coming out of the break? Like, is there any intel that you have into the decisions here?
I have wondered that as well, and I have no intel for you, but I'm hoping to get it. I haven't had a one-on-one with coach since like seeing some of those things, but I have wondered myself if there's something, like the reasoning behind that, because it came as a very much surprise to
Hmm.
me. I don't know if it could be like injury that's not injury list, but maybe just like, let him rest up, because I don't
Yeah,
know why. That's just really me guessing based on
right.
guessing. But I would hope he's back in the lineup. I
Yeah.
hope to see that.
Yeah. Saw
Yeah.
he was golfing today, so
Okay,
hopefully
so
that means that
he's
he
well at
can
least.
Yeah, the
he's
shoulders are
well enough
working.
to play golf. So
Okay.
hopefully he's well enough to play lacrosse next week.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll
Two
track
equally
that.
physically demanding sports.
Yeah, exactly. Totally.
Yeah. No, I definitely want to believe it's injury because I certainly don't think his performance in the field this year or the last couple of years has warranted that. So I know he did
Mhm.
like
Right.
tweak his hamstring a little bit in Rhode Island. Maybe that's just lingering,
Mm,
as those injuries tend to do. But um, yeah, gotta hope we see the governor out here in Harvard in August.
yeah.
Um, if like Jackie said, like maybe, because Ip's from California, they wanted to give him that opportunity. Like, not that obviously Jeff's played here before, but hopefully he'll get that same opportunity if he's, assuming his hamstrings have healed up by then.
Right.
Yeah, because that'd be sad to miss out just as a personality and as a guy to root for. And obviously
For
again, like one of those like super nice guys. Like every time we've had an interaction with him, it's been great.
Yeah, yeah.
Although it'd also be great for Ip to get to play at Harvard.
I
That's
know.
a very good
I'm
point. Yeah,
hoping
I hope
that,
it's not
yeah.
between the two of them.
Agreed. Yeah.
Maybe they have
No.
the double header. Maybe he'll get to appear in
Get
one
one
of
of the
them.
two games. Yeah.
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 Yeah, you figure he's unless like if they're completely out of it, whatever, I don't think that'll be the case. And then if they're like desperately fighting for their lives at that point, because it will be their last two games of the season. But um yeah, you figure Coach Holman will want to give him that opportunity because I'm sure like Jerry Byrne and the whole Harvard, we got to reach out to the Harvard men's team and Jerry Byrne because I'm confident there'll be like 50 of them there that
Oh
game.
yeah.
If
And I think the Tufts guys are going to be there as well,
yes,
I believe. So,
Oh,
all right.
I'm sure. I mean, yeah, there was a good contingent of them on Long Island, so I can only imagine how many would show up for Harvard.
yeah,
So it's
that's
it's
so fun.
decently close to the school year where they maybe not will have come back yet, but if they have like an off-campus apartment or whatever, they'll be moved in or yeah, I mean that's like a
Or at
trip you
least
gotta
have
make.
it signed. Yeah.
Yeah, unless you live all the way across the country, but if you're in New England or New York, you gotta make it up for that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I did see a tweet. I was like the Tufts lacrosse. I tweeted to say like, can we get the guys out during the Harvard weekend to do like a celebration for winning the national championship? And someone from the PLL responded to it, and they were like, "We'll reach out. We'll make it happen." So you might see
Oh,
the
that's
whole
awesome.
team of them out there at halftime for a
Yeah,
game. So
let's get the
that'd be
trophy
cool.
out there. That's awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
That'd be perfect. Yeah, have Jack run out there at halftime with them.
yeah.
Yeah.
That'd be epic.
Yeah. I was at a Red Sox game right after Quinnipiac won the national championship in hockey, and they brought like the team out there with the trophy or whatever. They actually walked right past the aisle. So it feels like, yeah, I mean, it's a
You
fun
gotta.
thing to do to tie that in. And obviously, Tufts men's lacrosse to the Cannons is way more of a logical connection than Quinnipiac hockey and the Boston Red Sox.
For
For
sure.
sure.
Yeah, that was it was a surprise to
Very
see.
random.
Yeah, pleasant one for sure. Um, Connecticut's like half New England, but whatever. Um, let's see.
It is.
Yeah. Any more questions from the two of you? I feel like we covered a lot of the topics we were excited to talk about with Noel here.
I think I'm good. Casey, you got anything else?
Um, yeah, what is something that you don't hear a lot of people in like press conferences or other writers talking about that you wish got brought up more?
Hmm. That's a really good question.
Not to put you on the spot, sorry.
Wow. No, no, that's a really good question. I have to think about that for a second. I feel like maybe like I this just might be me, but like sometimes like the good news or
Mm,
like the positive things. I understand it's a press conference. You want to know why someone wasn't playing, and you want to ask that. Like you have to get those. But I think sometimes it just creates like the coaches and players want to shut down after a loss because they don't want to hear how did that feel
yeah.
awful. They don't want to answer that. So I think maybe just sometimes like highlighting the good things even in a loss, and just asking things that maybe would reveal to like more of like the personalities that we see. And I feel like when Coach Holman has an opportunity to do that, he does. Like I think someone asked him
Mhm.
about the Will Donovan last week, and so he was able to like he was excited about that and able to speak on that. And so it's like maybe just like the little things that are not always the hard hitting stories
Yeah.
to touch on.
Yeah, like I forget if you had written about it or not, but like the Eat Award that the Cannons are doing
Yes.
at camp this year, like that's just a fun thing where it feels like I don't know, like I haven't been in a lot of press conferences, but like every one of them it'd be fun to ask like who got the Eat Award at practice for this week. Just as a it's a lighthearted question, maybe get some more people talking and just getting to know the Cannons culture at a little bit better level.
Yeah,
Um,
I agree.
yeah. Um,
Aiden, do you want to explain what that
no.
is for those who don't know?
Yes, that probably would be a good thing. So that was it's an acronym that's part of Coach Holman's philosophy. It stands for effort, attitude, and toughness. And they decided during training camp that it was literally going to be an award that they would give out after each practice, and the prize for it, the reward for that, if you will, is that player would get to um, get their food first for the team meal, and then I think it was they would sit down and start eating before anyone else could start getting their food. Um, and I know Ben Ramsey won the first one because that was the article or post or whatever that I read about it. Um, but I don't I forget who they said was like, oh, this player he'd make sure to take just a whole bunch of food and take forever and like keep everyone waiting. I forget who that was. Um, but yeah, I mean that's just a fun like locker room culture thing that's a little bit more unique. Like I know every team like plays cards and does like a kangaroo court, but it's a nice like unique quirk of the locker room
Yeah.
Mhm.
that continues year after year because sometimes these traditions come and go. But yeah, it's a nice thing to kind of set the cannons apart and hopefully bring them together and not feel like it's a competition
Right.
to get their pasta and chicken before everyone else.
Friendly
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
I have a question for you guys.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
What's maybe something that you like wish was covered more, or stuff that you would want to know about the cannons that maybe
Ooh.
either I could do, or what your or your I guess thoughts on the season so far?
Hmm.
For me, it's the human aspect for sure. I'm like everything you have said is I align with that completely. I also didn't have the opportunity to play. Growing up, there still isn't a girls program in the town that I grew up in. I also danced my whole life too.
Oh, right.
But for me, something that has really helped over the years of getting me bought into really any sports team, um, but especially with the Cannons or the PLL, is the human aspect. I love getting to read and hear about or see like bits of their personalities off the field come out. Um, because then it's like you're finding something that you have in common with these players.
Mm.
And I mean, some of my most favorite players over the years have been my favorite players first and foremost because of things that I have in common with them off the field. So I think that I really love whenever I get to see those things.
Is there someone that you like would want to know more about on the cannons that maybe has not like had a spotlight moment that comes to mind? This could be for any of you.
Hmm. I mean, just because of
Mm.
he was like the latest signing, or I guess these two guys who were like the latest to sign and then the latest to arrive, like Andrew McMeekin and Hunter Smith. Will
Mhm.
Donovan to a degree, but at least we saw him play, or at least I saw him play a little bit more at Princeton or Notre Dame, but they
Mhm.
both just feel like a little bit of like blank slates to me because I haven't they've only played a couple games. Um, and didn't you're just not as familiar with them like the defenseman and the faceoff guy because compared to like the offensive guys. And obviously Hunter Smith at Richmond not necessarily as big a program. Um, yeah, so those two people that I'd be excited to talk about or talk to myself or obviously
Yeah.
to hear more about them, video, writing, whatever it is.
Aiden and Casey know this, but I'm a big Will Manny guy. So I
Mm.
would love to hear more about how his transition from player to coach has gone, like
Mm.
from his perspective. I think that, it's just that's just such a fascinating move to literally go from playing to coaching the exact same team the next year.
Yeah.
And, it all changes the dynamic of your relationship. So I would love to hear kind of how he's handled that new role.
Yeah, that would be a great article. And then we also have that other level, right? Because Kyle Hartzell did it a couple years ago, and then now is back to playing for I don't know, at least 1 week, maybe
True.
a couple more.
We'll see.
Which has got to be an even more rare transition to have.
Yeah, well, did you see Anthony Kelly literally texted him on Friday,
Yeah,
asking him and was like, "Do you want to play?" And Kyle Hartzell was like, "What, golf?"
Yeah.
right.
That was so funny.
Like, and then yeah, he suits up 2 days later. That's just insane.
Yeah, and the most frustrating part is he did a really good job.
Yeah, I was shocked by that.
Yeah,
I guess I'm not shocked, but it certainly not what I expected.
no, definitely not. This is a much more lighthearted thing, but I really want to know how the players feel about that new Cascade Z helmet. I don't see many of them
Ooh.
using that Iron Man flip up cage feature.
Oh, true.
Um, yeah, we should probably just DM some players and get their thoughts about it. But I noticed at least Ethan Rawl, I think Jeff Trainer as well, have switched from Cascade to STX helmets. I think that might have just been a sponsorship thing, but I also wonder if they just were annoyed or
Couldn't.
confused by the flip up thing. Like, I think it's just muscle memory, right? Where like players aren't used to it, that's a thing you can do. I
Yeah.
also just want to get my hands on one, feel how it feels, how hard it is to flip up and down and the lock, whatever. But um yeah, it's such a hyped thing. And then guys are still just pulling it up over their heads like they've done their entire
Right.
life. So um
Right.
yeah, it might be a swing and a miss, but I don't know. If that sticks around for a few years, I want to see how it
That's
happens.
interesting. I know. I feel like the internet already had like an opinion on it before too, so that maybe didn't like. I feel like it was getting memed before
Yeah.
that it like looked silly.
Yeah,
So it's like I don't know. I wonder if they're thinking about that. Like I don't want to,
true.
be
The
on
the
TV
kids love
flipped
it
up.
though.
Mm.
That's what I've learned, going, I'm on the Shield team and going to the youth tournaments, and telling kids that we're giving away a Cascade Z helmet specifically, they get hyped about that. They think it's the
Oh.
coolest thing ever. So well, I don't know. Maybe it's an age thing. It's just that
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
youth are all about it, but the adults
Mhm.
just
Yeah.
the too many years of not doing it.
All right. So by the 2040 PLL season, I guess
Yeah.
we will
Everyone
be
will be doing it.
yeah,
Yeah.
ubiquitous.
Mhm.
Exactly. One more piece of content. It's not it doesn't fit into the question of something that we wish we saw more of, but we're Cannons fans, so all of us, homecoming is our favorite weekend of the year, and we love that. So the like whether it's Jeff Trainer being from the local boy or just like the Boston specific content, like hyping up homecoming weekend specifically, I think all three of us like just eat that up like all week long,
Mhm.
like getting so amped up and excited for homecoming. So anything specifically about like the Boston, Massachusetts Cannons coming home, history of the team, all that stuff it's you can call it cliche, but it's cliche because it works for a reason.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta
I
get
love that.
like Nathaniel Philbrick doing stuff. He's like this American history writer from I think Nantucket, but just like all his books are about like the American Revolution and like whaling. And I'm sure he's like obviously he's a huge nerd, but it just feels like that would be such a fun like colonial tie-in too to get like the cannons and Bunker Hill and um
Yeah,
yeah.
I know. I feel like when
any of
you
that
people like
stuff.
pulling up to the game like in the colonial attire, like the way
Yeah.
at a
Right.
Patriots game, when they shoot off the little like that would
Yeah,
be
the
so on
militiamen.
brand.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, I don't I'm someone from the PL has to have tried to reach out to the militiamen, right? Like that we need that at some point. I know they used to
Hmm.
shoot off an actual cannon when they scored back in like the 2010s.
I was at the Lowell Spinners game last night, and it was their America 250 celebration, and they had after the national anthem, they had I think like five or six m militiamen shoot off guns, and one of them was like an 8-year-old boy.
Oh, no.
Like it was the funniest thing ever. He was dressed up in the garb too. He had a gun and he shot it, and it was incredible. So I mean, even if it's not, the official militiamen from the Patriots, because I don't think those guys at the Spinners game were
No.
the Patriots guys, but clearly there's some folks in the area who can do that stuff. So I feel like the league's got to be able to find that.
Yeah, that gun must have been taller than he is. Was it a full like a
It, I think honestly, I don't remember.
okay?
I don't know if it was a full size or if it was a child
Yeah.
sized gun, but it was incredible.
Yeah, I definitely hope to get back to the Spinners this summer. I was really sad when they went away. So and it's not the same like form, but yeah, I miss them. So I'm
Just
excited.
as entertaining though.
Yeah, absolutely.
Guys, as somebody who's not from Boston, I don't know
The
what you're talking about.
the Lowell Spinners used to be a minor
Single
league
A.
team for the Red Sox, like the low
Oh.
single A team.
Hmm.
And then when MLB restructured the minor league system during COVID, the Spinners shut down and went away, but they have now come back as a summer college team. And so it's like the same ballpark, same like branding and
Mm.
whatnot, just instead of a minor league team, they're a summer college team. And so
Yeah.
I grew up going to their summer camp like when I was like 7 years old. So very nostalgic vibes, like
Yeah.
going back last night. So it's just one of those fun summer night activities going
Hmm.
to a ball game. So
Yeah.
yeah, definitely good vibes.
Yeah, that was a great time. I saw Andrew Benintendi at the Spinners way before he.
Wow.
Yeah,
Okay. That's pretty sweet.
yeah, it's nice.
Noel, where are you from?
I'm from Waltham, Massachusetts. So
Oh,
Oh, okay. So you are
I've been in the
local.
area. Yes, I'm
oh,
local.
okay, okay.
Are you still up here now? I
Yeah,
know you
yeah, I'm
went.
still
Okay,
here. Yes, yes,
got it.
I am.
Yeah,
Yeah.
see, nice. So you'll
Yeah.
be at homecoming then.
Yes, I know. I'm really excited.
Awesome.
I'm like trying not to like, wish it to get here because then it's like their last,
Hmm.
games, but I'm pumped for I think it'll be really fun. It's like it's nice to be there and like I'm the same
Yeah,
way. I'm like I want to hype up. I'm like telling all my friends like come out. We need, let's get the home crowd going. So,
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, hopefully it's not their last game because we'll be in a playoff game a
true.
few weeks after.
True, 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 true.
But
it's
it's
true.
Last
yeah,
regular season.
yes.
Last of the
Hmm.
regular season.
Definitely.
Yeah,
All
It's
right. Well,
always the best crowd
yeah. Oh
at a
yeah.
homecoming. And I'm not just saying that because I'm biased. It's true.
Yeah. Count
Okay,
the ticket
good.
sales.
Yay.
Yes, if
That's
you look at the
exciting.
numbers.
Yep.
But
Uh,
yeah, it's a great time.
yeah. All right. Noel, thank you very much for the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, this was a lot of fun to talk some ball during the All-Star game. I'd ask for like score predictions, whatever, but doesn't matter. Uh, we just hope everyone stays healthy and is ready to come back the following week in Chicago. So yeah, thank you. I'm sure we'll obviously see you out there at homecoming, if not at any point before then. Yeah, thank you very much for the time and go Cannons.
Yay. Thanks guys for having me. It was so much fun.
and thanks to Noel for hopping on there. That was fun. It's great to
Yeah,
meet her. It was a yeah, good conversation, and she definitely brought some positive vibes for
Yeah.
the second half of the season. And granted, we are feeling good after that win last week out in California,
for sure.
and but it definitely felt like it was a grind to get through most of the first half of the year. So maybe we got some rose-colored glasses on. Maybe the weather and the holiday are adding to those rose-colored glasses, but I'm certainly feeling pumped up and ready to go for this second half of the year.
Yeah, to an extent, probably she is telling us what we want to hear, but I think it is also good reminders that like it's a young team, a lot of new players, and the discontinuity this year with the college season and the NLL season, and injuries. Like no team is at their like you could probably argue even in San Diego, like no team was really at their peak with injuries and stuff that people coming out. So um, yeah, well, I think the Cannons definitely the outlook is bright, and it is a lot easier to say that after beating the I guess PLL leading California Redwoods last week. Uh,
Yeah,
yeah, the only team with 4 wins, I believe. Um, yeah, it
that
was
is
Yeah, that,
that is correct.
yeah. Um, I think it's cool. She had she really seemed to have like a lot of enthusiasm for the sport and for the team,
mhm,
like a genuine passion for the game, which is obviously we all share as well. So it's just really great um, to talk
Yeah,
to someone who's because a lot of times when we talk about cannons or to talk about lacrosse to other people in our lives, it's kind of like smiling and nodding. You really got to convince them, and it's like Noel is fully on board, which you'd expect and certainly hope for.
mhm.
But still, it's great to see that and um, yeah, her like new perspective of it and asking like for what we wanna know about the the
yeah.
coverage.
So hopefully we get some more good stories coming the
Yeah,
rest of the season.
I feel like that Will Manny story has got to be in the works now. Like that was a great pitch by you, Jack, and I think something that a lot of
Thank
people
you.
will want to know about as well. Yeah.
Yeah,
Uh,
appreciate it.
Yeah, we obviously joke about the Will Manny obsession from you, but like genuinely, it is a really interesting story given that I can't count, but basically everyone except the rookies, so that's like 3 or 4 people on the Cannons played with Will Manny last year. Um,
Yeah.
so it's an
Yeah.
interesting, it's a really interesting dynamic change where oh no, it was I think Max Krebsky said during the Atlas training camp because he was a rookie last year. Um, but then Xander Dixon, when he got hurt, he coached the Champ Series team. I guess when they started training camp,
Oh yeah.
Krebsky called Dixon coach because that was like the most recent. Like he knew him basically 50-50 as player and coach was the
That's
most
funny.
recent. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah,
so
definitely gotta have been some slip ups there
yeah,
with Manny.
yeah, and especially the relationship probably between him and Marcus is like the most interesting because they're basically
Yeah.
the same age. They, obviously played as
Best
teammates for
friends.
so long. Yeah,
Yeah.
really good friends.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. Now he's calling him coach. Marcus is
I,
calling Will coach. Like,
I
what?
can't envision
Oh,
that.
I
If
can't.
they-
Yeah.
Like one coach is his dad, the other coach is his best friend. Like,
Marcus
It's an
has
interesting
quite
position.
the life.
yeah, coach dad
Yeah.
and coach friend. Like, yeah,
How
that's
about it?
yeah, it's like that the kind of thing that happens to like the youth level, not the pros. But
Right.
yeah, so we look forward to Coach Dad being a story that Noel writes in a month.
Yeah, it was definitely really great to get a different perspective, from someone we have coach on every year, 1 or 2 times a year. We have players on, but then to have her on, it was really cool to have that different lens, um, and someone from the sidelines who can talk to the game differently.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Um, any other thoughts before we wrap it up?
Let's get
Have a
some more
good fourth,
wins.
guys.
Yeah,
That too.
yeah,
Yeah.
That too. Yeah, I guess down the line, let's get some wins. But right now, enjoy the All-Star game on
Hmm.
yeah.
Sunday, especially. I mean, it's pretty sick. You got America 250 4th of July, and they're playing in Annapolis at Navy. So the jerseys
I love
look
the jerseys.
so clean, such 1980 US hockey vibes.
Yeah,
So I'm definitely pumped. I'm going to be tuned in to the All-Star game on Sunday. So yeah, let's go have ourselves a weekend.
yeah. I'm gonna
Woo.
throw down this prediction. I'm saying Ethan Rawl gets his first 2 point goal. It's gonna happen in this All-Star game.
Hell yeah, East beats West too.
Yep, got it.
Yes.
I'm not putting a score prediction, but East beats West.
Yeah, he last year was like a normal score, it was like 15-13, something like that. I was
I mean, it means something to these guys, I think,
yeah,
because they get the money. the money is worth like actually
Hmm.
playing
Yeah, for sure.
somewhat,
Yeah, you're not gonna try to soak a shot, but
but
you
you're definitely trying to win this game.
yeah, you're gonna slide. Yeah, and you're
Yeah.
gonna try to cook your guy. Um, yeah, so bummer, obviously, you feel like Matt Campbell, if he was healthy, would have been playing in it. But nice to
Coulter's
see
in.
Coulter. Yep, get
Yeah,
that.
but
Yeah.
Coulter's in it now.
Yeah,
And
so we got a couple of guys.
it's Coulter, Ethan, and Holman, right?
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
believe.
we'll see if Holman played. I guess he wasn't on the injury
Right.
report, so we should see him.
Right.
Yeah,
Okay, so his hand maybe is totally
it
fine.
was fine.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, so we got three guys there to watch out for.
Yeah. Let's
Awesome.
see. These ones won't count towards the scoring record, but he's gonna get a couple. I'm confident of that.
I'm sure of it.
Hmm.
Yeah. He's a hard guy to keep off the score sheet.
Yeah.
All right. So everyone enjoy your fourth and your fifth with the PLL and WLL All-Star games. And we will be back next week with a preview of the game against Denver out in Chicago. But until then, go Cannons, go Guard.
Go Cannons, go Guard.
Go Cannons, go Guard.
Boom.
Boom.
Boom.